After passing away for 3 years, this elderly woman unexpectedly received a chance to visit the living world for 3 days. But what surprised her was that her daughter, who was supposed to be a professor in the United States, was now living in a rural village in South Korea. She discovered that her daughter was living in her old house, and had even opened a small restaurant next to it. When customers came to dine, her daughter would serve them tea and water, then rush to the kitchen to prepare the meals. Watching her daughter's skilled cooking techniques, Kelly found it hard to believe what she was seeing, because when she was alive, her daughter Emma couldn't cook at all, and had never made a meal for her. Kelly was puzzled. Why did her daughter give up being a university professor, and instead return to the countryside to open a restaurant?
나 너처럼 살지 말라고 내 쎄빠지게 공부시켜놨더니 내가 이꼴을 보려고 좋게도 하겠다 이년아.
The restaurant ran out of sesame oil, so Emma rode her bike to the village's small supermarket. The aunt at the supermarket was Kelly's good friend when she was alive, and like Kelly, she hoped Emma would have a better life. So she disapproved of Emma being content with her current situation, and was reluctant to sell the sesame oil to Emma. However, after Emma's repeated requests, the soft-hearted aunt finally relented and gave her the sesame oil. After returning home, Emma lit a fire in the stove outside the house. Watching Emma roast coffee beans by the stove, Kelly's thoughts drifted back to a few years ago. At that time, she had built a new stove at the door, and eagerly asked Emma to come home to eat barbecue, but Emma said she had classes to teach, and didn't have time. After being rejected, she timidly asked when Emma would be leaving for the United States, but Emma on the other end of the phone didn't want to say, only replying "I'm busy." Before hanging up, Kelly couldn't understand why her daughter was so cold to her. This question haunted her for the rest of her life, and even after death, she still didn't know what the problem was. After growing up, Emma had become distant from her, and rarely came back to her hometown to see her. Even on the day she died, Emma didn't rush back in time to see her one last time. Emma had been so resistant to returning to her hometown before, yet now she had given up her promising career to come back here. The more Kelly thought about it, the angrier she became. Finally unable to hold back, she started nagging next to Emma.
야 지금 노래가 나오나 이 문제가시나 야 노래도 못하는 게 이게 응?
시간지러워. 누가 내 욕하나?
그래 욕했다 이거나 들리나? 문제가시나.
At night, Emma fell into a dazed sleep. Kelly just sat quietly by her side watching, but in the middle of the night, Emma suddenly woke up gasping for breath. Pushing herself up from the floor mattress, she rushed out of the house into the night, then ran like crazy all the way to the crossroads.
내가 미치겠다, 엄마. 내가 엄마 때문에 못 살겠다!
The next day, Emma drove to the hospital in the city. Listening to the conversation between Emma and the doctor, Kelly finally learned that her daughter had developed depression, and the culprit that caused Emma's illness turned out to be none other than herself.